Hello friends, my name is Shivam from DevOps Schools and I will help you to enable your learning process in various technologies of DevOps, artificial intelligence, machine learning, big data and many more. This is our initiative to help you by sharing multiple tutorials and videos. And if you want any specific tutorials on any particular topic, then please do comment in the below comment section and I will help you with it. Also, please subscribe to our premium services on YouTube, which will give you access to more content and videos to enhance your knowledge about all these topics. Also, if you want me to help you with regards to the online trainings and classroom sessions by our qualified trainers, then please do write me at contact@devopsschool.com. Thank you.
Yeah. Just a quick question. Like whatever you have said, like the database name or path you are providing, right? Is that all it is coming to the in one configuration file, or how come it is? Whatever you have told me, like Excel
Okay, it is
HashiCorp
coming in the,
configuration file. Yeah.
yes, it comes under one configuration files.
Yeah. Is
Configuration
that
for
related to
database
this?
access, but the passwords and all will be stored here in the vault. See, okay,
Sorry, I
the
didn't get it.
configuration file, okay. The configuration file is just to give access to databases, where my database sits, not user ID and password. Where is my database? Where are my
Okay.
10 databases? Where is my AWS access key and security? That's the configuration. HTTP, this is the database. AWS access key, secret key, that is what Vault needs to configure it. But actually storing usernames and passwords and tokens will be done inside the Vault.
Inside the
First, I
vault
need to
in the
access the
sense,
databases, right?
yes,
Yes.
correct.
First, I need to access, First, I need to access the databases, right? First, I didn't even enter into the Vault world, but Vault should know where this database is, right? In the first place.
Correct. Yeah.
Right? That database is nothing but a URL, right? Let's assume a TCP/IP URL,
Okay.
right? That URL Vault should know first. When you get that URL, then you go and set up username and password for those databases.
By using the API keys.
Yes,
Okay.
yes. You can do read, write, CRUD operations on the Vault. That will be applied to the Vault itself.
Okay.
But you need to teach where the Vault databases are. That through configuration file you'll teach it. Only database paths. See, access key and a secret key. When you talk about AWS, that I needed to access AWS, right?
Yeah.
Access key and secret key, but that anybody can see. That's not a secured one. That's obviously it's a secured one. Only you can access that one. But Vault doesn't know about AWS.
Correct.
But Vault will know when you give that AWS configurations to the configuration file. After that, what is the thing you want to do inside the AWS? Then you can store in the Vault. Vault is not
Okay.
authenticating AWS. Vault is connecting to AWS is that configuration file. Connection for Vault is part of the configuration file.
Yeah. Now got it.
Yeah, that's what it is. So this is what it's a little bit cryptic, because even coming from engineering background, software development background, administrator, this is a different key value pair. It's a simple concept, is a simple. What is this username password in this hierarchy? That's the interesting part. But when you drill down a little bit, yes, I have 100 applications. 100 applications will have username password. So that is how it stores under one path. Secrets, AWS or Azure. That makes sense on that one. Make sense, guys, this one?
Yes. But you need to
Hello?
mention that key.
Yeah.
Yeah. But you need to mention that key value pair in the vault, right? In order to communicate with that application.
Yes. That I'll show you. That you will be doing with create, read, write.
Okay.
This username and password you need to put in the vault. Means first you can't put this FR0 in encrypted format. You need to type these things, right? Vault will not encrypt. Vault will encrypt afterwards. It's like username password only, but you need to teach Vault. First time when you're typing username password is human being, right? You need to know what is the password it is. You need to type those passwords, right? It will generate. After this one entering into that one, it will store this one in encrypted format. That time you will not see that password. Only if
Yeah.
you have a permission, you will have read permission. You can read that one. That's the way to store. But when we are entering, this is going into the vault. Now let's assume storage background. with our use cases, let's assume storage is part of the vault. I am storing in vault, but indirectly vault is storing in some third party storage devices. That's what we need to include. At a high level, this is what I was saying on the left hand side, bottom one, which I was talking the database. See, everything falls outside your databases. See, your S3 bucket, your DynamoDB, your console, and your RAM. Can you see the database on the left hand side, guys?
Yes, yes.
You can see, right? Yeah, that's that. The diagram itself says that one I'm outside. You store in a vault. That is a word used. We keep on using the word store these credentials on the vault, delete the credentials, add these credentials, get the tokens. But end of the day, it has to store on some third party database like console or DynamoDB or anything. That's where you need to configure on those things. Right? And the client, this is a developer sitting there. He wants to access that. This can be a system administration, network administrator, or a storage administrator, or a vault administrator itself. Right? So inside, let's look at this on the top level. What is the thing here is? One is HTTPS API. Now you need to understand what is this verbs. So this is only 4 kinds of verbs. If you look at HTTP, there is a get, there is a put, there is a post, there is a delete. It's like a CRUD operations only, HTTP verbs. So anything when you're doing everything through HTTP verbs, there is no socket calls here. You're doing everything through command line. You call this HTTP verbs. End of the day, any kind of database has CRUD operations, right? No additional anything, right? Create, read, update, or delete. So these are all treated like a resource. Everything in the cloud world is treated like a resource. In AWS also, any kind. You create a virtual machine, you delete a virtual machine, you read a virtual machine, you update a virtual machine. Anything beyond this one? Have you heard of, guys? Anything apart from this one, have you heard of?
No, I didn't hear.
Right? So think in that terms only. Yes. So think only in those terms. So here also, everything is whenever you use HTTP verbs, every command you run behind the scenes, it's not running the command. When you run pwd ls stop command, I'll show you one more thing. Just to go through a lab. Now it's too much talking about. Say here. Here I see commands, right? Oh, are you able to see my CLI screen?
Yes, 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 yes.
No, right? You can see my
Yes,
command line?
Yes, I am able to say it.
Oh, okay, sure, right? Yeah. So any command you type here, these are part of Linux commands. Stop, whatever commands I want to type it out, these are all Linux commands, right? These are part of the operating system. These binaries runs on the operating system. Now, this is how we start the vault, right? I just type the command vault server. I should have done this one. See vault server dev, right? So what it is doing is it is actually sending a HTTP request. See here, already it started. API address, it is disabled. Let's see whether it is activated. See, this is the word. This is how you can see my screen, right? Signing to vault.
Yes.
Right? So next command I'll share with you, right? So this is just to give a hands off. So token, it will ask for a token. I will look for token. I'll explain you all those things. So it will ask for this one, root token. Now you see root token, I just copied it. I'll tell you all these things, example, when you run through labs. I'm going here, token based authentication, sign in. See, this token, you can't even remember what the token is. Can anybody can even decipher what the token is in the first place? Can anybody can even remember this token? This is encrypted. Whenever vault runs, it runs on this local host port, as I told, open source version, local host 8200, that is a port number. And this is the token to enter inside. See, it always generates a new token. Can I copy this one in Notepad? 1 second. Just I want to show you some example. That's the reason I went there. See, this is the first token, right? You see s.svn, blah, 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 and all those things. Now, let me cancel this one. Now, again, I'm starting. This is how you start the Vault server in a dev mode. This is only for development XP. This is what all the examples we'll be trying on. See here. Now, Do you see this token? Root token? You can see on my screen.
Yeah.
Hello.
Yeah.
Right?
I'm
Now
audible.
can you compare this one? Yeah, I can hear you. What about Prithvi?
Yeah, it's there.
Okay. So
Yes.
now you see two different tokens.
Yes, it is different. And one more thing, before that, I mean, is something called the API, it is redirecting to the particular URL, right? Whichever you showed me that
Yes. All.
vault.
Yes.
Yeah,
Now
where
you
you
see. Now I generated an. Yeah, one second. Where see now it's gone. You see. Now
got it.
previous token it is saying, right? Now you see. Now I need to enter the new token. So every time you run the vault itself, it will generate automatically the new token for you. That is called as security. It is not asking you anywhere. Does it ask you username and password here?
No.
No, right? Right? That is the thing which I was stressing for last 1 hour was that is how secure it is. It will
Okay.
generate dynamically the new token. Instead of we can call it as a password to easily remember. It is not going to allow you, please go and change your username and password here. Again, that is a security loophole. You need to remember the password. You have access for those things. That's fine. So you're asking, right, secrets. This is where the configuration file will be, where it stores the data. I'll show you all those examples one by one. I'll store you. When you play around with this one, then you'll understand. See, nothing complication. It's all about storing value. This is where you have a data. You store your what do you call the configuration files. This is where your AWS, your Azure, your GCP, everything comes into this place. This is where your key value stores will be there. We'll show about those things. See, create a secret, right? I want to secret. Okay, what is today's date? March 13, fancy. Okay, and maximum number of versions. Okay, maximum number of versions. What does it mean here is how many versions of secrets I can have for this March 13. Means in the sense that one after 10 times the secret itself is deleted. In the sense that is no value in that one. Now I'll see here, right? Key value. You name. Okay, value whatever Vijay, right? So Vijay. Okay, that's pretty simple. Got it? See here itself, it is encrypted here. You don't even see the password. Even if you're admin, you don't see the password.
Yeah, post after entering it. Yeah, I got it. Yeah, okay.
Yes, after entering also, right? See, until because default everything, even if you have permission, you need to ask for it. So save it, right? This is where it will slow all the user IDs and passwords on this one, on the CLI. This I can do CLI, I just did with a UI. And like this one, for every in JSON format, this is what it will be. So for every user ID password, you can keep on putting all your database credentials because it will be in a different path. It's a secret thing. For databases, it will be a /database. For Azure, it will be /Azure. So in the database, you will have 10 different teams. Database 1, database 2, database 3, database 4. And that one, there will be 10 different teams. Again, team 1, team 2, team 3. Until you go to a place where you need to store your user ID and password, that is where the path will be. And that's the path you will give it to the applications. And applications has to talk to those things. And we'll see a couple of examples. Okay.
Along with that, you can access our other tutorials such as Docker, Ansible, Jenkins, Terraform, Splunk, AWS, Azure, and various other DevOps related premium tutorials with our channel membership. If you would have any issues with our channel membership, you can drop an email to us at contact@devopsschool.com, or you can also unsubscribe from channel membership anytime if you don't want to continue or did not like the video. To get our channel membership, click onto the join button, select the $399 plan and grow your skills immensely. Please be kind enough to like it, and you can comment any of your doubts and queries. We will reply to them at the earliest. Thanks for watching.